Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
A titanic tussle awaits on Tuesday as Gujarat come to Wankhede to meet the Mumbai Indians. Mumbai have won 6 in a row, both teams on 14 points. It feels like a blockbuster. Let's set it up. On Nexa presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout in the company of Katey Martin and Varun Aaron. Thank you for your time. Blockbuster is the right word for this.
100%. It's going to be one of those games where one of the teams would want the bragging rights, especially going into the latter part of the tournament, because I think both these teams are going to be in the top 4, and if they play each other, they're going to have that psychological edge in the eliminator or the playoff.
Yeah, a precursor not just to the playoffs, potentially for some, this is also maybe the final.
Potentially. I love the undertone of the story. Yeah, we've got the top 3, the greatest top 3 in the IPL this season versus Jasprit Bumrah that's come back, and the way that Trent Bolt was bowling. I just like the balance of Mumbai, but I like the matchups, and I think that creates that little bit of spice. I don't know, is it a bowling team that's going to win this game for them?
All right, let's go straight into that, because it is Gujarat Titans who are the immovable objects, and they come up against the unstoppable force that is MI ever since they've had Jasprit Bumrah returning. Who wins this tussle? Who do you see prevailing?
But look, GT also might have, or I think will have, Rabada returning. So it's going to be an interesting game with the return of Rabada. Ishant Sharma twisted his ankle the previous game. I don't think he's going to feature in this one. So as Katey said, whoever bowls better. And I think even GT have a really formidable bowling attack to counter the rampaging MI.
The bowlers tried to deflect the question around GT's batters, but it is a question that must be answered. GT's top 3 have not been stopped by anyone. There's still only one game where they lost 2 wickets in the first 6. Is this the biggest challenge they faced so far?
I think so. They haven't been tested in terms of the middle order GT at the moment, which is a great sign, but it's also probably leading into the finals. You do want to be able to see a few more players performing in roles, and they're probably the 2 teams that have the top 4 that are the most informed players in terms of batting. But you look at the bowlers and you're spot on with GT. I really like the balance of their bowling. I want to see Kishore bowl a little bit more, and I think his matchup against Sky could be quite interesting in terms of the intelligence in the way that he bowls. But I just think you've got some world-class bowlers coming up against batters that are in form. That's what creates that little bit of spice. And I don't know, Josh Buttler, he's surely due for a failure as well at some point.
Yeah, you consider those matchups, even talking just the GT top 3 versus MI, Gill versus Hardik, that's some history there. Butler versus Bumrah, Sai Sudarshan facing Bolt. Which of those are you most excited to watch?
I'm excited about all of them because they're great matchups. Really good batsmen, in-form batsmen versus in-form bowlers. But the thing is, Yash, like in all the games GT have played, one of their top 3 scored a 50. One of their top 3 has gone to bat till the 17th over, which is incredible. And the kind of confidence you take into games from that is what is getting them across the line every single time. So GT have a really solid top order, which I don't think are going to fail, because if one fails, the other guy will take charge. And the kind of cricket they're playing is they're not going hell for leather. They're actually playing very sensible cricket. So yeah, they would require somebody to bowl a really good ball to get them out, but they're not going to throw their wicket.
It's a great point, because the would you say, conservative nature in comparison to other teams. I guess you look at SRH and how they're quite, boisterous at the top. The conservative nature and the thinking and foundations, I think, is a really good foil in terms of Mumbai Indian bowlers. I think Mitch Satner, he could be an interesting choice if he comes back from injury, and how he could actually play a big part in that game.
Yeah, it has been confirmed in the lead-up to the game that Santner is 100% fit. Whether MI managed to slot him back in place of Corbin Bosch will be a point of interest. GT could have a change of their own, because Kagiso Rabada is back. He's been in the news, been away for personal reasons, the reasons which are now known. It's a certain amount of baggage. The mind space coming straight back in from a break like this is a challenge.
Look, I think he's lucky to be a part of the Gujarat Titans, because they are known to have one of the most chilled out, calm atmospheres, and they really keep their players in a good space. If he had to play for any team and he'd gone through all of this, I think the best team would be the Gujarat Titans, because I know Ashish Nehra really well. He's going to calm him down, tell him that, you know what, forget about whatever's happened. It's back to business now, and just make these next few games count. And also, if he has a really good back end of the IPL, he can take that momentum into the World Test Championship.
Yeah, and as far as slotting him in is concerned, GT have, ever since he's left, they've only ever been playing 3 overseas players. So you feel like it's easier to accommodate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's a world-class bowler, and on his day, and when he's got his rhythm back, I think last year he probably struggled a little bit with injury, the back end, but when he's in form and a rhythm bowler, his pace is up, he gets enough out of the wicket, and I think the way that their opening pair is, and then allowing the spin to come through the middle has been so good for GT. Ishant Sharma, question marks about where he's at. I think it will probably take a little bit of pressure off Ishant Sharma as well in terms of having Rabada back.
All right.
Also, the bounce on the Wankhede wicket is going to be a real ally for Rabada.
MI versus GT obviously means Hardik Pandya is at the center of attention. The first time he met them last year, he's come a long way since then. The first time he met them this year, MI have come a long way since then because that was in the middle of that losing start to the season. Now they haven't looked back. What have we made of Hardik Pandya, the captain, this season?
When you talk about chill, I think he's probably the main man that's chilled out. It's interesting, the top 4 teams, top 3 teams have probably got the most chilled out captains, the youth that's coming through. I think having the likes of Bumrah back has helped him in terms of that leadership as well. I thought tactically against Rajasthan, they were outstanding. There was, when you look at the game and you see clear plans and clear tactics and then executed from world-class players, you know that they're on. And I think the tactical tweaks and the way that he's made adjustments, he's brought himself on from the bowling perspective when he's needed to make that, I guess, that defensive over or just shift the momentum of the game for him. And yeah, I love his approach to the game. I think he's just so relaxed and gets the best out of players around him.
Yeah, the tactical side of things perhaps at times gets sidelined when you, just because of the personnel available, because you have world-class bowlers operating all the time, but handling them is a challenge. It can be for several captains.
100%, it is a challenge, but at the end of the day, they've played a lot of cricket together. They've literally grown up in the game together. All of these players who we're talking about, Sky, Hardik, Bumrah, so they have a really good bond with each other. They play a lot for the Indian team as well. So they have that freedom to, bounce ideas of each other, maybe sometimes say no to the other person without letting egos come into play. So I feel it's a great balance. They're doing well, and when a team's winning, they really stay together and they're a happy team.
He is yet to win a game against GT since returning to MI and becoming captain. Do we see that changing this time?
Well, I think MI is going to win, but I reckon we're on different camps here at the moment, are we?
I think GT is going to win because they're playing really good percentage cricket. The way they beat the Sunrisers, the previous game was just beautiful. The way they batted, Sai Sudarshan, so sublime. Gill, just no risk at all, get runs at the same rate as the most outrageous batsman in the league, like with the way they go about it. So they're just playing really good cricket.
They're probably the 2 most matched teams, I think. They're both, in terms of batting, is create that foundation. The top 4, the top 5 do the job, and then they've got those nice all-rounders that are just finishing off and doing what they need to do. And the same in terms of the balance of the bowling. It's probably the best matched up teams in this tournament.
All right.
It's pretty much a like-for-like battle tomorrow.
Yeah. And it is even on the couch. We expect it to be even out there. Thank you so much, Katey, Varun, for setting up the game for us. It is really blockbuster stuff, and the winner will take a giant stride in not just ensuring a playoff spot, but perhaps putting themselves up in the top 2.
Ready for it.
Thrilled for it.
Presenting Franks with Turbo Booster Jet Engine.
Next.